Not us. Wonderful. I need a weapon.
Helmet, body shield here. Level 1.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
Good, we're inside.
I need a weapon.
RE-45 here.
Appointed.
Keep eyes on the new kill leader.
Opening fire.
Here I go.
Getting shot at. Reloading. Enemy down. We're a bit scattered. Check your maps. Reloading. Need to recharge my shields. Alternator here. Frag out. Frag out. Getting shot at. I've been downed. You and me now. Pony up. Let's go this way.
Attention. The champion has been eliminated.
Nice. Champion's out. Meat Wagon's having one hell of a day. Wingman here.
Thank you. Hostile right here. Forget that.
Warning. Room closing.
We're inside the next ring. Smoke out.
Care package being delivered.
Care package touching down. They usually carry rare platforms.
Who's ready to fly on a zipline? I am. Using grapple.
Let's check out this area.
Knockdown shield here. Level 1. Half the squads remain. Let's keep winning. Keep eyes on the new kill leader.
Enemy spotted. Near me.
Fire, friends.
Firing.
It's simple, really. I observe the field from a... It's simple, really. I'm just better than you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ned and I'm a nerd. Okay, I know that's not funny, but I'm about to tell you a story that still puts a knot in my stomach to this day, so just give me this, okay? When I say I'm a nerd, what I actually mean is that I'm really good with computers, and not just your regular competent user either. I've been writing code since I was 13, and after 4 years, I've gotten pretty good at it. Too good, actually. Before all this went down, I'd been working on a little project that wasn't exactly legal. It was a program that allows you to hack other people's phones. I didn't really plan on using it against anyone, I just love a good challenge. And if this challenge would allow me to mess with some popular kids' phones, then that's just a nice bonus. I finished this program about a month ago and decided to give it a test run in detention. Hey, I said I was a nerd, not a goody two-shoes. There were only 4 other students in the classroom. The teacher was gone for the most part, so I felt pretty safe trying my new program. I sat at the back of the room and turned on my laptop. I'm not going to bore you with the details of how it worked exactly, plus I'm a little concerned that I'd get in trouble for revealing the principles of, well, let's just call it what it is, my illegal spying program, but it was a success. I managed to collect data from all the phones that were connected to our school's Wi-Fi and located within a 50-foot radius. I couldn't believe it. I decided to look through the data I'd collected. The main reason I wanted to do that was... am I gonna sound like a creep if I admit that my crush just happened to be in this classroom as well and I wanted to go through her photos? I know it was so wrong, but I just couldn't resist. I was hoping to see some cute selfies, and definitely dreading seeing any pictures with a boyfriend I didn't know she had. Plus, I already invaded all the other students' privacy, so I thought, might as well. But as soon as I started looking through all the images, I immediately forgot about everything. Amongst all the pictures, most of which were shots of homework or class notes that students always exchange, I saw tons of one girl's photos. Jackie, a girl from our school that was announced missing about a week ago. At first, there were just regular pictures that she'd posted on her social media pages. That itself was kinda weird, why would someone download all her photos? But as I went through more images, my face went pale. There were pictures of her tied up, sitting in some sort of creepy basement with her mouth taped and her eyes filled with horror and tears. Her face was beaten up, and there were bruises all over her body. The window behind me clapped and I almost jumped out of my seat. My hands were shaking. One thought was going through my mind. Someone in here did this. Someone who's sitting amongst us right now kidnapped this girl and is holding her hostage. I looked around and saw 4 regular teens. None of them seemed even slightly dangerous. My crush, Stella, and her friend Brittany were there. Then there was one of our school jocks, Brad, famous for his nasty temper and incessant bullying. And finally, there was Ben, a quiet, artsy introvert who was constantly drawing something and barely talked to anyone. I sat there frozen, looking around at a seemingly typical detention class knowing it was anything but. I had no idea what to do. Do I tell the principal? Do I call the police? I knew that was the obvious thing to do, but I was scared. They'd find out I broke the law and send me to jail. Plus, what if Jackie was already dead? What if the police would think that I killed her and was just trying to pin it on someone else? I am embarrassed to admit it, but I chickened out and didn't go to the authorities right away. However, I couldn't just leave it either. I figured that since I was the one who saw those pictures, then I had to be the one to solve this thing and at least try to save Jackie. To find out whose phone all those horrific images came from, I had to hack each one individually. That was a very time-consuming process. And since I was in a hurry and filled with terror, I kept screwing up, which wasted even more time. I decided to start with the 2 girls. After all, isn't it always the seemingly innocent ones that commit the crime in all those horror and detective movies? Well, as I learned that day, real life isn't a movie. I wasted about half an hour looking through their galleries just to find nothing significant. As I was about to start checking the other phones, the teacher came back to announce that we could go. For the first time in my life, I wasn't happy that detention was over. I didn't manage to check the guys' phones. I quickly glanced over and saw Ben and Brad getting their stuff and leaving. Jock boy Brad was the first one to jump to his feet. Our eyes met, and he gave me a weird look. It lasted for just a second, but I was so hyped up at that moment that this alone seemed suspicious to me. I didn't have much time to think of a game plan since he was about to leave, so I decided to improvise. I jumped up and rushed over to Brad. "Hey, I'm sorry about Jackie." I forced myself to talk. "I saw you guys together. Were you friends?" "What the?" He gave me a stunned look. "Why are you even talking to me?" I just wanted to give my condolences. I tried to sound sincere, but my voice was shaking. As I was trying to justify my prying, Ben pushed past us and left the classroom. I barely noticed him. "Look, you little creep." Brad pushed me up against the wall. "I don't know what you're talking about, but it's in your best interest to stay away from me. Got it?" I nodded. He let me go and stormed out of the classroom. I stood there for a while, not knowing what to do. At this point, I was almost sure that Brad was the kidnapper, but I couldn't really prove it without getting myself in trouble. And if I was going to, I needed to be 100% sure. But sneaking on Brad seemed way too dangerous, so I decided to follow Ben instead. If I could hack into his phone and check for sure that it wasn't him, then I'd know for a fact that Brad was responsible for Jackie's disappearance. I rushed out of the classroom and caught up with Ben. He was walking quickly out of the school. I followed him at a safe distance all the way to his house. His neighborhood wasn't the nicest, but the house seemed clean and homey enough. There was a garden outside, and I could see lacy curtains hanging on the windows. I hid in the bushes and turned on my computer. I needed to catch Ben's Wi-Fi hotspot and locate his phone. It was taking a lot of time. After a while, I finally got in. His phone was clean. A little bit too clean, to be honest. There were no pictures, no texts, nothing. I shrugged, thinking to myself, well, the kid is weird, but that's hardly a crime. So it was confirmed. Brad was the one with Jackie's photos on his phone. He kidnapped her. I was just about to turn my laptop off when I noticed there was another phone in Ben's house. That wasn't really suspicious. I mean, it'd be weird if you lived alone, but I decided to check that one too, just in case. I successfully hacked this cell phone as well, and froze in front of my laptop. It was filled with photos of Jackie. Not the ones I got from the class data, but really personal ones. Tons of selfies from different angles, her cat, her friends. It seemed as if it was Jackie's phone, I whispered to myself. The idea that Jackie may be inside that house freaked me out so much that I didn't really care anymore if I got in trouble. I called the police and told them that I knew that my classmate had abducted the girl and was holding her in his basement right now. I gave them the address and waited for them to arrive. After I hung up, I saw Ben come out of the house. He was taking out the trash. He was barely breathing, hiding in the bushes about 10 feet away. I threw the bag into the garbage can and started walking back when, all of a sudden, my phone started ringing. Talk about the worst possible moment for my mom to call. I immediately muted it, but it was too late. Ben had noticed me. I jumped up and ran away as fast as I could. All I remember after that was being hit on the back of the head and blacking out. I came to on Ben's floor with a police officer leaning over me. They'd arrived not long after Ben had knocked me out. Calling the police actually saved my life, but it didn't help Jackie. She was already dead before they got there. After the investigation was over, an official report was released. It was more horrifying than anyone could imagine. Jackie and Ben were actually friends before all of this. Well, she considered him a friend, while he was basically obsessed with her. The police found tons of drawings of her in Ben's room. Apparently, she was all he thought of and drew. Ben lived with his mom, but she was constantly on business trips for days at a time. During her most recent trip, Ben invited Jackie over to study for an exam. When he made a move on her, she didn't respond well and wanted to leave. What happened after that is too grim to describe, and poor Jackie lost her life after several days of living in a nightmare.
Hey, I'm Simon, and like many others, I played video games since I was a little kid. Only for me, it turned into an addiction that was making my life harder. Before I turned 15, I was playing video games a lot, but not so much to ruin my grades or affect other aspects of life. Then, my friends introduced me to one competitive online game. I'm not going to call it by name, but most of you will probably guess which one I'm talking about. We were playing together, talking through microphones, and it was a lot of fun, while working together as a team. Soon, my friends moved to other games, but I stuck with it. It wasn't just fun for me. It also was interesting to develop my skills in it. Honestly, I dreamed of turning into a professional gamer one day, and all my free time went to this. Basically, it felt like I was doing something useful. Before, games were just about having fun, the same as like watching a movie or reading a book, you know? But now, it felt like it was a lifestyle. I spent all of my free time playing it, usually until morning. Of course, in school I was sleepy and exhausted, and even if I wasn't, I was thinking about the game all day, watching videos about it, reading news, and exploring new strategies for it. And then, as soon as I would come home, I would start playing it again. Usually, I would think that I would play a bit and then do my homework and chores. But then, it was 1 more hour, then 2, 3, 5, and then it's morning. At this point, my grades seriously went down. And needless to say, my friends long have forgotten about me. Because I was obsessed with this one game. But I didn't mind. Because I was getting better at the game. And other stuff didn't matter. But it got worse. I started putting money into the game. I saved on lunch money, and overall allowance my parents gave me, and paid for stuff in the game. And they were purely cosmetic. They didn't even give me any advantage. My parents didn't notice at first, because they worked a lot and didn't have time for it. This also allowed me even miss school in order to play sometimes. So all of it continued for at least half a year. I managed to study as much as it was needed, not to fail completely. I was very nervous, angry, and rude during this time. I was arguing with other players in the game and insulted them. Funny thing is that I've seen players like that since the first day of playing the game, but I always laughed at them, thinking I would never come to the dark side like them. The same was happening in real life. Whole day at school, I was craving to go back to play the game, and got annoyed when someone tried to talk to me about their stupid, as it seemed to me back then, problems. When my grades became so bad I was failing, my parents finally caught on with what was happening and took my computer away from me. I was so mad. I tried to explain to them that it's worth it and you can make millions as a professional player, but they didn't listen. So I did the only reasonable thing I could in this situation. Started playing a cheap mobile knockoff of this game, but soon they took my phone away from me as well. I was even madder than previous time and refused to listen to them. But with time, I started to realize what kind of situation I was in. Before my addiction started, I was a good student. Not great, but good. Now, I was failing at almost every subject. Yeah, even gym class. Teachers explained to me and my parents that I either have to go to summer school or stay for a second year to even have a chance to pass my exams later. Realization of my screw-up was devastating for me. I felt like I had literally destroyed my chances for a good future, or going to college, because of my stupid and unrealistic dream of becoming a professional gamer. Because, in reality, only one person out of several thousands has a chance of becoming a pro. I watched multiple videos and read articles from older guys who had the same problem, and their lives were miserable. I decided to devote my entire summer to studying, and although it was sad and hard for me, I barely managed to recover for the next year. My parents were very understanding, and got me my computer and phone back as soon as they saw that I was working hard on correcting my mistakes. So now I'm kind of okay. It's still hard to study and prepare for exams, but at least I stopped ruining my chances while I still could. I don't think that video games are bad, and I hope I will be able to get back to playing them when my situation is better. Not like last year, but like before, when I had played games for just a few hours every other day. Until then, I have to keep away from them. Please share this video so other people with the same problem would see it and change before it's too late. And if you already have the same problem, share it in the comments.
I'm Alan. You know what's cooler than having a lot of money? Knowing how to make more, and I do. But yeah, you must think I'm full of myself. So let me share my story. I'm 17 now, but this all happened when I was 12. So, my family is very poor. So poor that I wore the same shoes for an entire year, no matter whether it was raining or snowing. But those were good shoes. I mean, very durable ones. Like, they were the Iron Man of shoes. Nothing could destroy them. They were much better than my brother's, which made his feet hurt sometimes. But still, mine were very ugly, and I really wanted other shoes. I dreamed of having these sneakers I saw in a store. You may think that was shallow, but come on, I was 12, and there was nothing I could do about my wish to buy those shoes. I didn't have any money, so maybe I gave up on the idea. Nah, not really. I started to think that if I could just find a way of somehow making money, I could buy those shoes, and they weren't cheap. My dad was always saying that I should study better than him, so I could have a better life. And me and my younger brother really took his advice to heart. I was a really good student, because I spent so much time studying. I had good grades and no money, and some of my classmates had bad grades and a lot of money. So, I made them an offer. I would do their homework in exchange for money. Not a lot of money, but enough to save up and buy sneakers after a couple of months. It was pretty easy for me, because I basically had to do my homework and then copy it for them, changing it a little so nobody would know it was a copy. I even had different prices for A's, B's, and other grades. And I also helped older kids a little with some subjects. Not like math, but literature and history. It was going great at first, but then almost everybody stopped paying. I was wondering why, and it turned out that they made one guy pay and then copied his homework. I had to fix this. So I told them that if they were gonna do what they did, I was gonna raise the price. They didn't like that, but they also didn't want to do their own homework. So they agreed, and everything went back to normal. But then one of the guys wasn't happy about it, and he actually told everything to the teacher. Can you believe that? The teacher was very angry at me, and said that I should stop doing that, or else me and the other guys would have a lot of problems. So I had to stop. But I still hadn't saved up enough for me to buy the sneakers I wanted. So of course, I came up with another plan. Because now, many of the older kids knew me, and their teachers didn't know about my tricks. I asked them to give me cool stuff in exchange for their homework. You know, like toys, action figures, simple gadgets. I would then start playing with them in my class, making it look like I was having a lot of fun. To be fair, it was fun. And if someone asked me to play with them, I would say no, which made them want it more and more. Then, at some point, I would rent it to them, or even sell it. Soon, I was buying stuff from the older kids and selling it for more money, instead of doing their homework, because I was getting tired doing so much homework. But of course, sooner or later the parents started to notice, and the teacher was angry with me again, saying that I was abusing the other children, and it wasn't okay. I disagreed, because they were very happy with all of it, and I never, forced them to buy anything. Everyone was happy. But basically, I finally had enough money to buy the sneakers I had dreamed of for so long. So I bought them and went home. Finally, all my hard work was paying off. And even if I got into a lot of trouble, I still got what I wanted. Then, I saw my brother's shoes. They were in a way worse state than mine. And I remembered how many times he would say to me how much his feet hurt. And he was constantly sick because his shoes had a lot of holes in them and got wet every time he stepped into a puddle. So I gave those shoes to my brother, and he was so happy and surprised. Honestly, it was much better to see my brother happy than to have them for myself. My parents were angry at me because they thought I stole them, but I explained how I got them. And then they were proud of me because I did all of it for my brother. I didn't tell them that it was for me at first though. During that time, I learned that making money is all about giving people what they want, even if they think they don't. And in the end, I didn't regret giving away the sneakers, for one simple reason. I enjoyed coming up with the ways to make money, and the process itself was very interesting to me. Now I'm 17, and me, my friends, and my brother are thinking about what kind of business we could do together. It's all very exciting, but it's not about the money. It's about being passionate and solving problems, about doing what you really love. Share this story, so people will know that you can achieve anything if you are hardworking enough. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
and shove it.
I've been wanting to make this video for the longest time, and I keep procrastinating because the studio keeps changing all the time. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and film this video, and then maybe we can revisit 6 months or a year down the line and see how everything has evolved. I'm gonna tell you guys, it's not done. Now, before I show you guys the studio tour, I do wanna thank today's video sponsor, which is Volution. So Volution is an all-in-one e-commerce solution, and they make selling online easy for everyone. So it doesn't matter if you are an expert in e-commerce or you're just getting started, they make it so simple to sell any type of product and optimize your sales. And they do this because they provide tools that are built into their system, for example, like SEO or Google Analytics. And they are the only e-commerce partner with a 24/7 US-based customer service center, and they are dedicated to keeping small to medium-sized businesses running smoothly every second of the day. They also have, in my opinion, one of the most intuitive storefront solutions. They have beautiful designs, themes for every type of e-commerce business or brand, which of course are fully customizable. If you guys sign up today with my special promo code, you guys get a free extended 30-day trial. So if you've been wanting to sell something online, there's no more excuses, guys. Stop procrastinating. Check out that link in the description to start your 30-day free trial today. All right, so let me show you guys the gear closet. So when I bought this house a little over a year ago, it didn't have this. So we actually built this out, and I'll show you guys what's above. I have a couple of
Space coupe look like a UFO. Smoking on